All right, here we go. Game one, G2 versus Loud. Let's see if we can get this. All right, here we go. G2 versus Loud. Game one. G2's on blue side. Check out 3 early wards here from Loud. If G2 can get away without spending any, then they will have better gank opportunities. But they're doing this against a Nidalee. They do not, however, have this covered, right? The jump over this wall can get there. Jump over this wall can get there. So very interesting. They did get a ward on red buff, so I don't expect this, but maybe Nidalee's going to go red to red with something like this. We'll see if she ends up trying to path to beat that. Sejuani we can expect to solo Raptors to start. And then Nidalee might just go for a fight at red right away. We'll see. Do they know about this ward? Late invade coming in. They don't know about the ward. Oh no. Alright, so here we go. Tahm Kench was hovering. Yike is starting this, but Renekton had eyes on it. They're going to come in for a 3v2. Is Ahri going to come as well? We do have the Nautilus mid. Caps has been spamming this in solo queue. So let's see. Tahm Kench kind of holding off. Ooh, big hit. You don't want to see that because now he's got aggro. Now he can take this fight. Nidalee can just go for this poke here. And they go for a little burst. All right. Neatly defended. Nidalee not getting anything at level 1. Oh, that's Sejuani. Okay, I thought for a second Tahm Kench had taken the red. I was like, what? But no, Tahm Kench just moseying on down towards bot. Sejuani gets the shop in. Doesn't opt to take any heals. Not necessarily an issue in and of itself, but if Nidalee does decide to come gank, then we could have a problem. Broken Blade showing some oppressive level 1 advantage. Of course, versus Renekton, this is what you want to do. Renekton kind of gets blind picked all the time. Darius is still that alpha in the top lane. Darius and Trundle types happy to fight anybody, anywhere, anytime. Good little combo there. So in the meantime, what did they do with the Aphelios and bot? Why is he so upset? I don't know. It looked like, hey guys, we could have killed this guy. A little miscommunication, maybe, or people saying, hey, like, let's just do our thing. Aphelios was by himself in the bot lane. Did get trounced to the form of a triple stacked wave into a cheaty recall. So Jinx was able to take advantage of this, able to go with a fast call. You would have preferred that, knowing the situation, if Nidalee's going to be that aggressive, then a cold start would have been okay as well. Because if they go to match the Nidalee, then you'd be okay to farm up that call in a 2v1 lane, right? If they're going to go try to defend it. But let's see, this Nautilus at work. Corrupting Potion, unafraid of the Ahri damage, right? Ahri's not going to deal enough damage up front. He's got the shield. He's got the Corrupting Potion. Kind of curious about it. I think he's just using it as the best source of mana for the wave clear here. Not really looking to take that many fights. Basically trying to do that. Anytime that it comes up and then you're going to be a mid-game roamer, you're going to be a beast going from side to side ganking. And 2 Corrupting Potion stacks are up. So, you'd like to try to time this with needing some more mana, but maybe not. What's Nidalee up to? Nope. I don't know. This is an interesting take. How strong is Nautilus actually? Not strong enough. Didn't like that fight. Don't know what they were kind of thinking there. It's pretty ambitious into Sejuani Ahri. A lot of hold down potential. All right, check out the ward line that we have now, 4 minutes in. So this is going to be no trinkets left for Loud, but check out all the wards. 5 wards in the river right now. Well, 4 plus the Scuttle Crab. So they really wanted to guarantee that Sejuani could get that. How's the bot lane doing? They did have that early lead, right? Aphelios has gotten most of it back, but now is Hansama opting not to hold the freeze here, which kind of puzzles me. This is a mistake, right? If you're Hansama here, you could have pulled this minion. You still could. You could pull it all the way out. And you've got Nidalee here. Like, Nidalee's on your side of the map. You could easily hold this freeze. So this is a missed opportunity. We'll see what the call is. It must be some form of dive bottom soon. I have to imagine, and if that's the case, normally you'd see Nidalee and Nautilus go together to push mid and then dive bottom in a 4v2 or 4v3. But yeah, I really don't like that's a missed opportunity for Hansama there. I don't know, Caps. Can't do this. Foxfire. Got him. There we go. Brazilian fans going crazy. All right, so let's see. Point of power. Darius in the top lane, although Renekton did go with double Dorns to try to fight this back, and it looks like he's climbed himself back into a good spot. Has level 6. He will be stronger right here. But Darius going for those boots. Probably going to rush those plated steel caps. Basically, the sources of damage on this team are going to be Aphelios, then Ahri, then Renekton. So happy to have the extra armor, especially for the Aphelios, right? It's his job to be able to get into that fight and chase that guy down. They expect to win, right? Darius is a great pick into the Sejuani Renekton, which are trying to dive together. Tahm Kench can as well, although in this game I expect him to be more of a bodyguard for the Aphelios. Now let's see, can we get Nidalee to hover this, snuffing out this dive? We get the early teleport from Nautilus, which means they're going to look to change this. They're going to look to chain it together and turn it. They do get the 1-for-1, so fantastically done by G2. They suss out the play. And it's all on communication, right? There's no wards indicating that. So Loud, good job with the timer, making it happen, but it ends up being a 1-for-1. Great job by Caps. You can expect him to stay top now. Darius will go mid. Once they both can synchronize their pushes, then they will turn back to their own lanes. You could use the presence of Darius here, so check out this wave pushing in. Darius is going to come push this. Nautilus should come back to mid, and together the team will have numbers here because Renekton is destined to go straight to top. So we'll see if they try to pull that play off. Nautilus is on his way. The question is whether or not Darius decides to stay for this dragon. I would expect them to do it, right? They still have the winning situation in bot, although it's much negated. Let's check out the dive, the technique. Renekton grabs the aggro, then ultimates. Good job, chain CC. Broken Blade has not been able to get a single thing off. Ended up going with flash Q instead of Q flash. Definitely just mashing that button, but here we go. Darius showing his strength against the divers. You want to have Smash Sisters? Ooh, got him. All right. You want to dive me, he says. Showing the strength of the pick. Good job by Ahri, showing a little presence here. Going to chase Nidalee away from the Herald. So they end up taking that strength, right, having multiple people mid and turning it into a kill up in the topside river. They could have used it in the Dragon Pit as well. Then they would have had an issue where Darius might have been a little bit too far away. But in that case, right, he can just be the one to take the extra wave and then scale on up. All right, Aphelios, Tahm Kench. Looking at the shape of these endgame fights, right, we're talking about double dive, triple dive from Ahri, Sejuani, and Renekton. We're going to have Tahm Kench hovering Aphelios. So very much just dropping the hammer to the anvil with flanks from Renekton. That's what they're going to try to do, just engage front to back. But you have Nautilus, who is happy to be in a front-to-back situation, as does Nidalee because of the siege ability. Rel, one of the best anti-divers in the game. So I actually really like their setup there. It's going to be a little bit difficult. You know, Nidalee is there to definitely harass the crud out of this Sejuani. But once we get to this late game fight, when we do get to a dive, Nidalee is awful into dives, right? What you pick her for in this situation, what you're trying to get out of a Nidalee is the ability to siege up and get a couple of chunk spears out, right? There's no heals on the enemy team. All you're trying to do is get a little bit of health missing so that the dive isn't imminent. But, you know, with a team with Rel and Darius, they're happy to make it happen. So they're just going to walk forward with these fights. Nidalee will keep on putting traps down, and they'll be looking to walk into an area. I'm excited to see how they pull that off and whether or not they're able to hold off Renekton diving in. Darius opting not for Merc Treads. You know, the plated steel caps make a lot of sense for the damage that's coming out, but not having Merc Treads does mean that there's a potential for him to get burst out in one of these fights, even if he goes a tankier build, Stridebreaker, Black Cleaver, sort Renekton into Sejuani into Ahri. Like, that's going to be enough crowd control to hold people down anyways. Darius just crushing this fight now, as he is wont to do. Getting the ultimate and flash from the Renekton. This will be a slaughter. Now, this will be the stage of the game that it will be very difficult for the Ahri to do anything to the Nautilus, right? We're going to see an Abyssal Mask rush, as he always does. Oh, look at this dive. I love it. Even though it's 3v3, the good angle is Nautilus going to go around, though. He doesn't realize that the fight is happening right now, and he should have taken a straight line in. He went for the flank thinking that it was going to go under turret. This is a big miscommunication. He didn't realize that they were 3v3 and stuck there, so he ends up having to back out. G2 loses the fight. Great little read by Croc, right? Sensing the aggression. And a miscommunication by G2, not putting their ducks in a row. Let's get loud. Let's get loud. Now, expect Renekton to get out of this matchup, right? He does not want to spend any time with the Darius. So he's going to be looking to roam, use these double dashes to create fights. Unfortunately for him, it's going to be very difficult to get through to the Nautilus. One of the things that's interesting about the Abyssal Mask this game is, yes, you are preventing some amount of damage from Ahri, but the majority of their damage is going to be Aphelios. And not only that, but there's only Nidalee on your team that's going to benefit from the shredded magic, apart from you yourself, right? And Nautilus is not a small damage Broken Blade. Nice dance moves. Getting around. Nautilus going to hit this. Nice job by Tinhounds. Hitting the charm mid-flayed on the prediction. Good job there. I can hold him down here. They're trying to bait up for Jinx Rocket. The bleed is going to be enough if he doesn't get the triumph. So we get a death here. Now Tinans is looking to take on Craps. But here we go. Let's see the shield. Auto reset. Showing the power of this pick. Oh my goodness. Sejuani coming in clutch. Turning it. But Yike is also here. Oh my goodness. Clutching. These guys came to game, all right? We've got some good plays so far. Ahri going to look exceptionally strong. Going for the Liandry's Anguish, all right? Not going for the setup. Realizing that her team has enough setup between Gravitum, Sejuani Ultimate, Renekton flanking. So she's going for Liandry's, trying to get a little bit more sticky damage, more cooldowns, being able to fly around the fight a little bit better. But now with the turret down in bot, let's see if they move Aphelios mid right away. It looks like Ahri's coming maybe for one more wave, which would make sense. There's no wave to catch down bottom. With the wave that far away, it could be easy to make some pressure elsewhere, and then you have some time to get bot. Now check out this play. Good job. Broken Blade almost getting the double Q. If he had gotten that, whew, nice job by Tinhounds, moving that RAQ around. This guy's been spot on, man. Haven't seen a dropped mechanic yet. Jinx Rocket missing by a hair, allowing Renekton to get another Q off, which spells doom for the Darius. Good moves by Caps. Here we go. And this fighting, man, this champion, something else. Dodging the true damage portion of the REQ. So close. There we go. Crowd favorites. Alright, so now this wave has crashed in bot. No one has come to pick it up, and it's about to get all the way in, unless it looks like it might have just gotten enough under the turret, which will make it bounce back. But yeah, no one picking it up, meaning they're prioritizing the Herald here. Renekton looking to be that anvil. Let's see it. Dropping the hammer. But the fight just front to back, they love it. Darius loves this situation. You say, yeah, Renekton, you want to dive into me? This is exactly what I want. Getting all the upfront damage, but here the continued total DPS, and this is where Nidalee falls short, right? In these fights, when it actually gets to it, she is very weak into this actual just, we're committing to the fight right now, which is something Sejuani and Renekton do exceptionally well, and we're seeing the weakness of the G2 lineup here, and the Nidalee pick in particular. They were not able to get that level 1 invade to work. And now they're, when Nidalee can't play, just steamroll from ahead, then she ends up being pretty weak. So we'll see if they find a way to get back here. Heal early from route. Good job just not even trying to kite anything. Just get to the side of the fight. Red-white guns charging up. Here we go. We got green ulti. A little short on it. Renekton damage. 4-man empowered Q. Sejuani continues the fight, and here we go. So strong from Tin Hounds. Look at that perfect placement of the Q, the orb into the dash. Ends up getting everything. Such a nice fight. Really well played there by Loud. So if you're G2, right, you just need a little bit more setup to these moments. You don't want to have 3 full health champions crossing a wall without any Nidalee poke, and by the time they get any amount of damage out, Renekton's already there, and of course that's where they're going to be weak. What can Jinx and Rel do to change that? Probably nothing. Love the Darius pick. I see how it's going to work with Nidalee, but it's going to be a challenge to really hold this fight together. Lots of sustained damage from all of these sources, right? Okay, big Nidalee spear, but there we go. We got the engage. Rel's dead. Flamethrower ult spreads everyone's damage. And they're just walking up with impunity. They've got 3 beefcakes here. Tahm Kench, Sejuani, Renekton. Ooh, a dash into E flash, but shorted the flash or mispositioned it. Kind of a difficult mechanic to get all those in sync, but still you expect those guys to hit them. First mistake we've seen from Tin Hounds. Aphelios looking mighty scary here. 158 CS. 304. Going to be a huge problem in these fights. And they're just going to keep on forcing, right? Like, there's not enough that this Nidalee pick can do. It's something that we've talked about before. The Night Harvester. If you're ahead, sure, great. Night Harvester does a lot of extra work. You get to play from ahead with vision. You get to proc it more often and on more people. But if you fall behind, right, these champions are going to have 100 more health. They're going to have 3 or 4 more resistances. They are going to be that much sturdier. They're going to have more items to just deny it. I'd much rather see an Everfrost here from someone like Nidalee that contributes to the team fight. Because right now, this build, they're just shrugging off this damage, if they're even taking it. And with something like Radiant Virtue from the Sejuani, which I absolutely love, committing to the dogpile strategy, right? Expect to see an Aphelios ult into Gale Force, by the way. We're going to see that combo for sure, because Aphelios is actually going to be safest by moving forward in a fight, not kiting backwards. So I absolutely love the Radiant Virtue. It's going to extend these fights, and honestly, they're in the driver's seat. Enemy team has Nidalee, right? Like, you're playing from ahead, and enemy team doesn't have any scaling, so going to be a difficult time for G2. If they're going to find a pick, what they'd like to do is bait out a walk-in situation and collapse on Renekton as he's flanking. This would be the best case scenario for them to be able to get that fight early. The downside to it is that he's got Gore Drinker, and if he gets enough health and resistances, he doesn't die on that first pop. He gets his ultimate off, gets an empowered Q, Gore Drinker with 3 or 4 champions. He'll survive long enough for Sejuani to be able to slam the ult on top of everybody and Ari to close the gap. So it's going to be tough. G2 really going to have really good vision in these pits. Nidalee going to have to find some good angles to throw spears. Expect her to throw it from over walls, right? Try to get behind grass, behind walls, behind people, whatever it is. Something to obfuscate the vision just a little bit. But yeah, 4 kills, 5k. Got the turrets. Still, all their turrets are up. There's, even if G2 wins a fight, they're going to have to take the Baron ensuing. Then they're going to have to whittle down structures just to recuperate any amount of the gold lead. And then they're still playing within Italy, right? They're still going to have this situation that's very, very difficult to come out of. Now, this is something that they would like, right? You want this fight. You designed a team comp that can just walk in, poke. Nidalee can look for this. She's going for the early smite. Oh my gosh, that was so big. Doesn't preempt it with a spear either, so their team is going to be tough in the fight. But they do get the advantage here. Darius loves this situation, and this is not what Loud wanted. They do not want to force the fight here. They want to create this flanking position, and they end up getting swindled there. They do get the Baron. Ooh, no. I hope we don't have a bug issue that caused a problem. Okay, and we resume. So here we go. Check out the play, right? When you're forcing this situation, you're going to expect G2 to be able to get into this. You don't have that threat of Renekton jumping into the backline because of the angle. Ends up holding this position, and now Renekton Robo is very, very late to get to this backline Jinx. Ends up not doing anything. Very late to hit Hansama there. And it looks like didn't survive as long as they expected him to. The damage wasn't up front. Abilities on cooldown from fighting with the Baron. Definitely needs improved execution there from Loud. But here we go with Baron. They're going to have push priority. They're going to go in 3 different lanes right now, which is a little bit surprising, but Renekton does have teleport. Expect him to set up a slow push in top. It looks like he opts not to. He just full clears the wave. So this is actually going to come back. And over the course of time, right, this is going to take 90 seconds to happen. But this top wave, because it's gathering here, they'll get the reinforce first. If blue can find any amount of time to top lane, that wave will be growing for them, and they'll be able to get that top lane pushing for themselves. So check this out, right? See, most of the minions still survive. They're still fighting here, and then you're going to have this reinforced wave. So Darius, if they find the time to just step back, Darius pushes this wave. You're going to end up with a double stacked wave going into turret. He'll come up, clear this, and then you'll be able to take the turret very quickly. The question is, what can Loud get done in the meantime? It looks like Broken Blade is calling the bluff. Oh, no, or I should say... I would say calling the bluff would be just continuing up forward, but they look for the fight, but they don't have the Darius here. This is a mistake. Mickey, what are you doing? You don't have your most important player for the team comp. All right, so a little bit of an int there from Mickey X. Coming on in, but way before Darius was in position. You see in that top wave how much damage that wave is doing. If Darius had slowed it down just a bit, they would have killed the wave, right? You don't clear the entire wave, you just clear the backline. It's still something that even at the pro levels they don't do. But now, being down a player, specifically being down Rel, their best counter-engaged champion, they're going to cede everything here and expect this entire inhib to go down. Now, with her back up, they're going to be a little bit more cagey. But yeah, how do you force a fight, right? It's just Nautilus, and then you're just walking into the hammer. You have to be careful here. Robo gets in, but does not get the Gore Drinker. So you get the advantage. This is what G2 is looking for. Now Loud has kind of put themselves in a tough place with that wall at their back. Darius is looking to press up. Nidalee's going to keep on throwing spears, but they can't just keep going in. Darius cannot go match against Aphelios here. Nidalee is hunting, though. Nidalee says, I can find this angle. You guys just keep on harassing. It's because they have the teleport, so they're looking to lock them down. Let's see if they split it into 2 parts. I want to see them turn and try to get a burst onto 1, but they do just get the cleanup. So here we go, Nautilus ult. Tom Kench getting cleaned up, and G2 actually cleans up the fight because Loud was not patient. And suddenly they're back in it. So that's going to be all those shutdowns. Lots of shutdown gold. They're going to get the turret brick. They've got the objective timers, or the objective bounties are in, and they're going to get this plus another one with 23 seconds and no other objective on the map. They're free to take another one. This is going to be a felt 1,000 gold going into their pockets as well. They may even try to take this fight. If Robo's not careful, he's going to get chain CC'd, and they're... This is what we were talking about with the plated steel caps. Let's see this fight. All right, so we get the hook. Ends up getting on Tom Kench. Ari uses first R to get out of this. Nautilus flashing to safety. Repositioning. Gore Drinker is not able to be activated. So Renekton does not get the value out of this. And then they're just in trouble here, being corralled. Great job corralling here. Good kiting by Hansama. Good dodging right here by Rote, honestly. But not being in any kind of pressure to get out means that they're just going to get chunked here. Heal is never going to be enough, and Nidalee gets the big burst. Nautilus always has eyes for the Aphelios here, never going anywhere else with that ulti. And they end up cashing in. Still going to be tough, though. All right, how does Loud recover? They had the lead. Do they feel like they've squandered it? They're still fine. The Jinx is going to be back in the game, right? She's got the bounty now. 2-2-7, multiple assists, multiple kills, lots of CS. They've been funneling these resources into her so that she can carry this kind of fight. And it all does come down to whether or not she can get excited, right? Does she get excited before the Renekton is able to close the deal on one of the kills? Dropping the hammer, as it were. Now, Loud saying, we are stronger here. We can take the Baron Pit. Bot wave will be slightly pushing back towards them. At this point, right, small level leads can be the difference in whether or not minion waves start pushing or not. But here we go. Caps forcing the fight into the turret. We get the big engage from Mickey X. Gets double knockups. Rel showing how strong she is. If you miss your execute just a little bit, absolutely making up for the play from before. Beautifully done by Mickey. And do they come back? They decide to take Baron for their prize. Yes. All right. Loud, if you're quick, go get Dragon for yourselves. This will be a third Dragon. This Baron will largely still be a catch-up Baron for them. But we see the power of the Rel Nautilus Darius, right? When you just get that cluster, if you get it, able to take those fights. But it's going to be, you know, whether or not they can get upfront damage, any amount of chunk early to be able to continue these fights. But, you know, Aphelios is only getting stronger. 3 kills, or 3 full items, as does the Jinx. They're only going to keep getting stronger. The AD carries are going to be monsters in this game. And it's going to be much easier for Renekton to find a target later. So we'll see. Boom. Look at that beautiful engage from Mickey. Saying, yeah, you guys spread out just enough. Gave us enough time to get that full engage off. Renekton not tanky enough. We're always going to be able to take him down. And yeah, just locking everybody up. Still completely unimpressed by the Nidalee, though. I feel like she did not contribute to this at all. Maybe a little bit of the burst damage. So this is where she's going to be strong, though, right? You protracted siege in a inner turret situation. You get to hide behind these walls, get to throw from different angles, get to obscure where the spear is actually connecting from. So the team of Loud is respecting it, and they back off. Don't give her those angles. We're just backing, seeding off a little bit much. Renekton is going to look. There it is. All right, he's teleporting. He's looking for this big flank. They want this fight 100%. They double teleport in case it's on vision. Who are they going to go after? Front damage on Mickey. The front to back, they're going to be in such a good position now. Ari's going to look to blast this damage. Aphelios not getting the most damage here. Broken Blade getting a 4-man queue again, showing the strength of Darius into this grand melee comp. And seriously, just hard carrying right now. But Aphelios gets the turnaround kill. Will it be enough to hold the game? Probably. Aphelios is up. 2.5 health bars are there, but they have to step back. They get the inhibitor, and suddenly G2 looking in control here, and it's all on the back of this Darius. Check out this build. Force of Nature, Thornmail, Stridebreaker, right? Skipping something like Blood Cleaver because it's too important to be able to stay alive, and you see that's the difference in these builds. Renekton is getting locked up just enough, right? There's only the real Jinx that he cares about. He should have built Merc Treads because you're looking at Nidalee damage, Nautilus being able to root you. Rel keeping you in place, right? So all these champions, that's stopping the Renekton from actually accomplishing his goal. Only way he's definitely going to be able to do it now is if he buys Guardian Angel. And then you've got this kind of weird situation. You've got Black Cleaver, Guardian Angel. You're not really tanky enough. Your only way that you're tanking is by respawning 4 seconds later. And that's just going to give Darius time to stack up this Conqueror, use the Ghost to full effect, and really showing how strong the pick is right now. Now Nidalee going for Shadow Flame. Obviously there's a lot of shields on this team, specifically Tom Kench, and you expect to see a Bloodthirster from Aphelios oftentimes, so that might have been part of why Shadow Flame was picked up, but not this time, not being picked up. They expect that there's no real fight that can be forced upon them, so having the extra health bar is not really going to matter, and I agree. So very impressed with Route here, how he's playing. But we just got to get Renekton, man. Renekton, Robo has got to perform better, has got to not get locked up as he's dropping the hammer. All right, so G2 technique is to come in. They're going to go adjacent pushes, bot and mid. They're going to control all the vision in between. And again, you expect them to always come together, right? This team is not designed to split push. Darius just wants to permanently be grouped. Renekton is the one that can come in from the side, but again, not really with this build setup. So a couple build nuances. Oh no, we find the engage. Mickey finding the flash, jumping in, and the flash, they get the Aphelios, and that's all of the damage from Loud. So G2 is going to walk it in. They're going to take down this turret easily, and they're probably going to win the game right here. Because 42 seconds left on Aphelios, that is their only major damage source. There's no way that they get through the beefiness of this Nautilus. Radiant Virtue, Abyssal Mask, just standing there in the middle. You've got Darius with Force of Nature. Renekton preempting the ultimate, just wants to come in and clear the wave, does not able to get his Gore Drinker off, just gets locked up, and it's really a build diff, guys. Darius with the dunk, clean it up. G2 takes game 1.